You just figure that out and then you start slow and you are patient with yourself and you forgive yourself the times that you miss it, but you continue.
Yeah.
It's not what we do every once in a while that changes our lives. It's what we consistently do over time that begins to lead us to the change that we're.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Office Visits with Dr. V. Have I just said thank you for listening? If this is your first time, thank you for listening. If you are a regular listener, thank you, thank you, thank you for listening. I am doing my very best to bring you all information, education that is reliable, resourceful, and things that you can actually apply to your everyday life. Like you can get off of the podcast and actually go do it. And so, with that being said, I have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful human being on with me today. I've known her for years,
Yes.
maybe since 2002, 2003. We go way back. But she is a wealth of information, and she is going to talk to us today about how she simplifies her life, how she simplifies your life. So, her life. Welcome, Miss Nanyamka Joseph. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Ah, for those of you all who are listening, you got to go to YouTube because Naya has this beautiful, like 100-watt smile, and she's got the best collarbones, y'all. Like, I'm trying to lose some weight. I said, I got to get my collarbones like Naya. So, anyway, we call her Naya for short, but she is a functional nutrition coach. Among other things, she's also an educator. She is a mom. I'll just say she makes everything beautiful. Everything she touches, she makes it beautiful. That is her gift. So, without further ado, Miss Naya, can you introduce yourself to our listeners, please?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on today, Dr. V. Yes, we go way, way back. I think it was probably pre 2000, actually, somewhere in there. It's been a long time, nevertheless. But I am Naya Joseph. I am a functional nutrition coach, and I got into functional nutrition because I wanted to solve some challenges that I was personally having. As you know, I have two boys, and first, prior to getting pregnant, I was struggling to get pregnant. And so I changed my diet. And through changing my diet, my body began to function the way it's supposed to function. And what I mean by that is I actually went vegetarian and vegan long term.
Mm.
And prior to doing that, I was not having any cycles all my life from the time I had my first cycle in fifth grade into my 30s, because I got pregnant for the first time at 35.
Right.
I did not have regular
Right.
cycles.
Right. Hold on, wait, back up. You had a period in fifth grade and not another one till you were 30?
No, no, no,
Or
no,
they
no,
were
no.
just real
So
sporadic?
it was just sporadic. So in fifth grade, yes. And then sixth grade, maybe. And then from sixth all the way through 12th, I didn't have anything. And then maybe
Wow.
once a year, once every other year, I would have a cycle. And
Wow.
so we were
Wow.
struggling to get pregnant. And I tried something different. I changed my diet. And from that, I started cycling regularly and I was able to get pregnant. And I actually continue to cycle regularly now. So,
Oh, won't he do it? Awesome. Very good.
yeah.
That sounds like PCOS. I don't know if you feel comfortable, but is that what did you have PCOS?
Yes, yes.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. There are a ton of medications that people go on to get pregnant with PCOS, and not everybody needs, all of the big guns. So it's really encouraging to hear that you changed your diet and were successful conceiving on your own, which is the best way
Yes.
to do it.
Change my diet and lots of prayer. Yes.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So as a result of that, I've watched my family. I've watched my mom who has diabetes, my dad has diabetes, high blood pressure. It runs in my family. And I just did not want that to be my story. And what I found is I can use food to regulate any issues within my body. I feel better when I'm eating better. And I think that once you start eating better, you begin to recognize the triggers that you have and the things that don't make you feel so good. And
Hmm.
so that's what I wanted to share with the world. I wanted to share that you can eat good and you can feel good by choosing the right things on your plate.
Okay. I don't have to say anymore. That's the message that we share for sure. So thank you for saying that. I will just say that Naya is one of our sisters of destiny. As you know, I have a program called Delivering Destiny, and a part of that is something called Our Morning Coffee. And so she's one of our 5 a.m. She is the 5 a.m. person. And she was sharing, we were sharing one morning, and
Mm.
she gave me this tip about what she does to keep her household in order. And it just blew my mind. And I was like, you have got to share this. And guys, like I said, she's organized, she's meticulous, like she has systems. And so she's going to share with us some of the routines and habits that just simplify her life. So she's going to share three, and we got a little bonus for you for those people who have kids going back to school. So we got 3 plus 1. So Naya, give us the first one.
So the first thing I do, what I found, and I'll give you a little bit of background, is my kids, my family, they want to use a clean plate every single time they go to the kitchen and do something. And I was like, this is not working. I was buying paper plates and I was like, okay, aside from the damage we're doing to the earth by using these things, we're going through them. And then when COVID hit, like paper plates went through the roof. And I was just like, I am not spending this much money on paper plates. We've got to do something different. And so I came up with a system that color codes everybody's plates. Everybody has a set of plates, a bowl, a cup, and a plate in a different color. And their job is to use that plate, wash it, put it away, and then reuse it. So I know exactly who's not washing plates because I know their colors. And I can go to that person and say, hey, can you wash your plate, please? But it just made my life so much easier because, they would just take down every plate that we have in the cabinets until they were all just dirty versus us washing our things right behind ourselves and putting them away. And just using one plate. So that has made my life a
Oh.
lot easier in the kitchen.
So I love it because you don't dirty up as many dishes. But the best part, you know who's not cleaning their dishes. So it teaches
Mhm.
children to be children and adults, I will say, to be responsible and to embrace the habit of being clean, which is something I think that we need to learn. And paper plates, I think, are for guests. We'll have large gatherings, but we ain't trying to pull out, paper plates every day because they cost. So I love to hear this. So you came up with that. Did you ask your family what they thought about it, or you just implemented the system? Tell us how we do something like that.
So I just implemented the system and slowly they have begun to embrace it more and more. I will tell you sometimes my youngest will try to use his brother's plates just so that he doesn't get in trouble. But I think once, you have that conversation and they see the difference it makes in just us all being able to work together as a team to keep our
Hmm.
kitchen clean, right? It's not just one person being responsible. And I'll tell you, I think it stems from me as a child having to wash dishes behind adults in a whole family because I was the oldest and the one under me is 12 years younger than me. So I had to do it all. And I was just like, no, this is not how we're going to do it in
Oh,
my house. We're going to all
Cinderella.
contribute. Yes, we're going to all contribute to the cleanliness of our home. And, it's a slow process. I can't tell you that it's perfect, but I think we're getting better. We are getting better and we're seeing some progress in our kitchen area.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The teamwork element, too, that's very powerful. We are doing this together. We're keeping our house clean together. It's not just one person doing all the heavy lifting. So
That's
I
right.
love that. So let me ask you something just for I'm trying to get a better understanding. I didn't think about this when we first talked about it. When people come over, like you have to have plates, right? Or do you use paper plates when people come over? Or do you have like
It just
extra plates
depends on
sitting
the event.
somewhere?
Yeah, so
Hmm.
it depends on the event. Now, I have tons of plates, which is why we would have so many plates dirty because I have so many. I like china, I like pretty place settings and all those things,
Of
but
course.
I bring those out for special occasions. So when people come over, if we're going to eat off of real plates, and on Sundays for brunch, typically we eat off of real plates. So it just depends on the occasion. If the kids are having friends over, it's probably paper plates. If it's Thanksgiving dinner, then it's my china. So,
Gotcha.
we
Gotcha.
have it available for when we need it, but on a day-to-day basis, we just try to stick with that one set of plate, everybody's plate settings.
I would probably only need one cabinet if I implemented this method. We have so many dishes. It feels like we've collected them every time we've gone to a new place. So that would really kind of simplify the appearance of the kitchen and it would definitely look a lot cleaner. So I love that one. And this is why
Yes.
we're doing the episode. So what is number two? What's number two?
Well, meal prep. Meal prep is huge for me just because I want to make sure that I'm always in a position to put the right things in my body. And so, with that, it requires me to meal prep. So I always have a snack. I always have something that I can take with me for a quick bite while I'm out. So I was going to share some of my favorite meal prep items. And I will tell you also over the summer, it's also helped with my children. So if they're home, if I have things in the refrigerator, or I actually created this snack pack in the pantry area. So I took one of those, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a cloth door hanger that you put shoes in.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
actually used that for snacks. So, and I saw that on somebody, I saw that somewhere. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to try this. But everybody has a row for their snacks. And so I just fill it up on Sundays. They know there are two snacks a day. I do not have to stop what I'm doing to go and get kids snacks because it's there for them. So that's one of my meal prep tips is my pantry snack area. I open up things when I buy groceries. I divide everything up so they're eating in portions versus taking a whole bag of chips and sitting at the table and eating out of a bag of chips.
Oh, wow.
So everything is portioned, everything is out there, and they can go and serve themselves whenever they want.
So you're putting it in like a Ziploc bag? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, yes,
Wow. Mm.
yes. So I
Okay. And
unpackage the chips and stuff. Go ahead.
you only have to do this once a week?
Once a week. And it only takes me
Okay.
maybe an hour to do all of it. So I use the snacks. So I fill up my snack pantry once a week. Personally, for myself, some of my favorites are pumpkin muffins. I make a pumpkin muffin. The key for that is because my family loves them. And so they disappear pretty fast. I make 2 dozen instead of just the 1 dozen. I freeze 12 of them so that I can have them over the next week where my family can eat off the first dozen, but I still always have something that I can quickly pop in the microwave for 30 seconds. It's warmed. It's
Wow.
like it's just come out of the oven and I can
Wow.
go. And it's delicious. It's perfect. So that's another one of
Ooh.
my favorites.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that recipe on your website?
It should be on the Instagram page for sure. For sure.
Okay.
I know
Okay.
I've posted it.
Okay, we
Yeah.
will get to that at the end. Okay, keep going, keep going. So we've got
Uh,
pumpkin muffins, we've got a snack organizer, so the kids aren't like all in the snack pantry eating a whole bag of chips at one time. Gosh, that's a great idea. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Another thing I love to prep is salsa. It's very easy. And I actually prefer homemade salsa to store bought salsa. I don't know if you've ever made your own, but when you use your own ingredients, it's just much fresher. It doesn't take long to chop up the seasoning, put it in a glass jar. I like in mason jars, and that's what I usually do most of my meal prep with. But I put that salsa in there and I can use it on top of any of my protein if I like. If I want to, I can have it with blue corn chips. I have so many options that I can do with salsa. So that's another one of my favorites I like to keep on hand. And I make usually a black bean salsa, black bean mango and black bean salsa.
Ooh, ooh. Y'all, doesn't that sound good? So, so normally salsa, I'm thinking, tomatoes, onions, cilantro, some salt. Okay, and then you add mango and black beans. So there's less than what 10 ingredients,
Yes. And most of my meals
six,
are,
seven.
yeah, less than 10 ingredients. So usually it's black beans, mango, uh, red onion, a little bit of lemon, lime, cilantro. I prefer parsley. I don't like the taste of cilantro, so I sub parsley for it. And I make maybe jalapenos if you want a little kick to it. Just a
Okay,
little bit of salt
yeah,
and pepper, and that's it.
okay. And I've seen where some people just put it all in the food processor, but we'll definitely go to your page to maybe see how you make it. So, all right. So we do the pumpkin muffins, the salsa. Is there anything else that you like to prep?
So yes, I think, and as I move back, so I am going back into the classroom full time, which means that I have to prep a little bit more. One of the things that I used to prep often was salads in a jar. So I build salads
Mm,
in a quart-sized jar, and all I have to do is dump them over, shake, dump it into a bowl, and I can eat it at school. So that makes it really easy. I try to prep maybe 3 for the beginning of the week, and then midweek I'll prep my last 2.
And the salad in the jar is just like your lettuce, the toppings that you want, the vegetables that you want, and the
Yes,
dressing is in the mason jar too?
it is. So you put your dressing at the bottom.
Okay.
Then you put all of your like your vegetables. You put your lettuce in last. So you have your tomatoes, your cucumbers, anything that's gonna, have moisture, you
Mm,
leave that at the bottom. If you add pickles or whatever it is that you want to add in there for your salad, you put all of that at the bottom, you put your lettuce on top, you put the top on, and then when you're ready to eat it, you shake it all up and you pour it into a bowl. That's
wow.
it.
And what size mason jar are you using? You using the 8
I
ounce
use
or the
the
12 ounce?
I use a quart. So it's like 32
Okay.
ounce. Yeah. And the wide,
Okay.
you want to
Okay.
get the wide mouth so
Okay.
that it'll be
Okay.
easy to get everything in there. So wide mouth, 32 ounce. Yeah. I guess it's a 24 ounce. If you fill it all the way up, it's actually a 32 ounce. But yeah, it's 24 ounces, a quart size.
Gotcha. So I told y'all you can take her tips and you can do this. Like you can totally do this. It requires that you're intentional and it requires that you set aside time. Like you just can't be, all over the place. You have to be intentional about making your health a priority and setting the time to do this. And you guys might be saying like, why are we talking about this? And I always have an episode that's related to the pillars of health. And so this definitely hits off the nutrition. And let me tell you, this is all stress management. Like,
Mhm.
like oh, trying to make, breakfast in the morning. What am I going to eat for lunch? This is, I'm sure this reduces your stress like by in half at least, I would think. Would you say that that's a true statement?
Absolutely. I think it reduces my stress and it helps me save money when I'm out, out and
Oh,
about because I have stuff that's already, I know
yeah.
it's healthy. I've made it myself. So I feel good about eating. So, yes, it reduces stress because I'm not stressed about what I should eat and what's in what I'm eating. And it aligns with my personal goals for my health, my fitness, my nutrition. I feel better. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when I feel
Yeah.
better because I'm eating whole food, I'm more energized. So yeah, that makes me less stressed, right? You ever eat something and it's like it does absolutely nothing to you, nothing for you, and you say, God, that was such just a waste. It was a waste of calories. I am still hungry. I'm not satisfied. A waste of calories, a waste of money,
Mm.
and you're still trying to figure out, what else can I get? But when you have things on hand that will meet your nutritional needs, there's nothing like it. So yes, I think it does
So
reduce my stress.
So I would just say you are a functional nutrition coach for a reason because I really don't think most people stop and say, that didn't do anything for me. They say, oh, I'm still hungry, and they go eat more. they go eat more. And so the food that we eat, especially the processed food, they don't really have fiber. They're not filling up your stomach. And they've got sugar and salt. And so you're gonna crave it more. So
Mhm.
no, that's called mindful eating. When you say, that didn't do anything for me, and you slowly start to add things into your diet that will. But I think that is a great way for us to be mindful to say, okay, how do I feel after I've eaten what I've eaten? Those ginger snaps from Trader Joe's with the crystallized ginger. Like, I can eat a few of those and I still have room for more. So I love what you just said. So, all right. I think those are good. I think those are several things that we can do. And number three,
Routines. So you mentioned earlier about setting a time aside to be able to do all these things. And so in order for you to be successful, particularly around health and wellness, you have to have some routines in place to ensure your success. And so I meal prep Sunday nights, usually, or Sunday afternoons after we have brunch as a family. I get all my things out and I start meal prepping for the week. I also make sure, like, another big routine for me, and this goes back to stress management and wellness in general, is my nighttime routine.
I
I
know.
have to take a nice bath. I put bath salts in my bath, a really hot bath, and I put on my pajamas. I like to go to bed in a clean space, in a clean room. My husband will say, "Why are you making up your bed? You're about to just get in it." So sometimes I make up my bed late at night because I want to go to bed in a clean space. So I try to have a routine of making up my bed every single day. Now, I'm not perfect
Wow.
at all with that, with any of it. But I believe when you have systems in place, it's when you miss it, it's much easier to get back on track.
To get back on. Exactly. That's exactly
Yes.
right. And y'all, she really does this nighttime routine. Like, she really does. And, for us as lifestyle medicine physicians, taking a warm bath before you go to bed helps get better sleep because your body temperature will slowly decrease and that makes you sleepy. And it also, now, you don't take your phone in there. You have your phone in there?
It depends
Okay.
on if I'm listening to something. Yes, I am working on my nighttime phone routine of putting it away a little bit earlier, but
Yeah. Yeah. If you can stop the blue light an hour or two beforehand, that's what will also help you have a better night's sleep. But I mean, you said you're not perfect, but man, you're checking off a lot of the boxes. So very good. So you have a nighttime routine, you meal prep. What other routines do you have or think that we should implement?
so I think a morning routine is going to be really important, particularly as we head back to school, right? You want to minimize your stress in the morning. So making sure that you have a routine of how you're going to make sure the kids eat really good, healthy breakfast because that affects how they perform for the entire day. I'm now on Sundays also pulling out my outfits for the week with this new
Wow.
clothes. I actually have to get dressed. I can't wear sweats all day like I've been doing for the last 2 years. I'm finally coming out of my COVID sweat. But so I have to actually get dressed and I have to put effort into that, which takes a little bit of time. So I'm looking at, okay, how am I going to put myself together for the week? And I do that on Sunday nights. So a good morning routine. I know I can prepare a great breakfast and my kids' lunches in 30 minutes in the morning and get out the door. And then the other thing is I routinely make it a point to hit the gym 2 to 3 times a week and get in
Hmm.
10,000 steps a day. That is
Hmm.
part of my wellness, my mental health, my strength, all of those things. My mental and physical health, that is a part of my routine. So those are
Yeah.
some of
Yeah. And guys, she's not just talking. She does hit her 10,000 steps. Like, yeah, she's like 77,000 for the week. So she's above that. So we are, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to process. It all sounds great. But if you're someone who has no routine at all, you're scattered, like I have been, where would you say we start? And how do we start?
I think you have to figure out what's going to be the biggest benefit for you. What's going to make the biggest difference in your life? For me, it's my nighttime routine. That makes the biggest difference in my life. So I protect that time for myself
Mhm.
as much as I possibly can. So I think you just figure that out and then you start slow and you are patient with yourself and you forgive yourself the times that you miss it, but you continue.
Yeah.
It's not what we do every once in a while that changes our lives. It's what we consistently do over time that begins to lead us to the change that we're
Wow. That might be a clip.
at.
Y'all might see that one on a reel because, we think it's these big changes, but it's all the little stuff that adds up that you do day in and day out. And I'll just say, listening to it, it does sound like a lot, but I just think about we set 9 to 5 aside for our jobs and
Mhm.
we do that. Now, I know that brings revenue into the house, but, think of taking care of yourself. Like this is your job too. And so I think it doesn't have to be Sunday. You're doing all of these things because that's what I used to do. I used to meal prep and drive myself. I'd be tired. But I think
Mhm.
that, like you said, if you can have routines and you know when you're going to do what, I think that it's very doable. And again, it is our responsibility to take care of our bodies. And the things that you have shared make that so much easier, make it so much easier.
Absolutely. And again, I think we always have to be patient with ourselves because you're going to have seasons where you're busy and you get off of your routine. And I recently posted, I was like, when I can't give myself an hour a day, 1 hour out of 24, if I can't give
Mm.
myself 1 hour a day, then I'm too busy.
Ooh,
That's my barometer, right? If I cannot give
wow.
myself an hour a day, I am too busy. An hour a day, maybe it's to meal prep on Monday, maybe it's to go to the gym on Tuesday, but 1 hour of the day out of all 24, I can certainly carve out time for
Mm. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be a clip too.
that.
That's a mic drop moment. That's real. If you cannot give yourself 1 hour a day, you
Mhm.
are too busy.
Yes.
Mm.
And
And
I
people
think,
say I'm busy. Go ahead,
yeah,
go
I
ahead.
think what happens is we make ourselves or put ourselves at the bottom of the priority list, right?
Absolutely.
And we have to stop doing that because if we're not well, then the people and everything that we're pouring out to, we can't
Yep.
give them our best and show up
Yep.
as our best for them either. So we have to make ourselves a priority. And that's not selfish, which is a mindset shift for many moms, for many women. When you talk
Mhm.
about taking care of
Mhm.
yourself, it's a mindset shift. So we've got to be the priority. That's okay. That's not
Yeah.
selfish.
Yeah. And I will say I'll put a plug in for our morning routine because that is the easiest time to get time by yourself. So we
Mhm.
do, it's really the miracle morning. And, we pray, meditate, visualize. We have a devotional that we read, we journal, we say our affirmations. And this is how we start the day. And sometimes we talk about things, and, there's some life stuff that we get from each other. And I just think that it's always quiet.
Mhm.
Nobody's up, it's just us. And, for those of you who are saying, I don't have, my kids are always bugging me, they're probably not bugging you at 5 o'clock in the morning. They really
No.
aren't. So thank you for reminding us that, we've got to take care of ourselves. We got to put on our own oxygen mask first
That's
so that
right.
we can help others. Very good. Very good. So we had our three, and you kind of already did the plus one. That was helping people with going back to school. Anything else you wanted to share to help people getting ready to go back to school?
It's really nothing additional. I think that, just finding a way because, when I finding a way to build nutrition into our kids' life on a daily basis. So the only other tip that I'll give you is I started building these fruit cups and my kids love them. So I make fruit cups and put them in the refrigerator. And that is a way that they can serve themselves again because my goal is to empower them to be more independent concerning what they're putting in their body. So if I have it there and I put it there for them, then it makes it much easier on both of us and they don't have to ask. But one of the things that I do build is a fruit cup for them and they enjoy those things. So that's another way that I can get more nutrients into their bodies on a daily basis.
Okay, so if y'all are like me, when she said fruit cup, I'm thinking of like the mandarin oranges with the plastic peel over it.
You got to go to my
So
page. I've posted them, but I have one that loves mango and strawberry and kiwi. So I cut those up and put them in a cup for them. And I buy these little containers. They're like at Dollar Tree. You get 5 for $1.25. You can wash and
wow.
reheat it. If you lose one, it's not a big deal. But I cut up those things. One of them mine likes grapes and apples, and he'll eat strawberries. So I make them the things that they like. They're fresh. And it's equivalent to, if you go to Publix in those little plastic containers. I don't know if you guys have,
Yeah,
or you go to
we
a
do.
grocery
Yeah.
store, or Whole Foods or something like that, those little fruit cups.
Yeah.
I was like, I can make these at home. And I promise you, it makes
Yeah.
it so easy because I know every day they have their servings of fruit and vegetables on a daily basis.
My gosh. Woo! Mic drop. Okay, real quick, last question about the fruit cup. You said apples. Apples can brown, strawberries can get mushy. How do you preserve them, or do you put like lime juice on them, or how do they stay fresh? Or they just eat them quick enough that that's not an issue?
Yeah, they don't last too long. I can make 3 days worth for the family. And then again, I'll meal prep midweek to make the other 2 days. So the apples don't brown. You can put a little bit of lemon or lime juice on it, but I don't have any problems with it. They eat them just fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now I don't know if that's on your site or on your Instagram, but that should be on there.
Yes, it's on there. I posted a picture of the fruit cups, so you can find it there.
Okay. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So you have given us like I hope y'all were taking notes. And you don't have to do all of these starting tomorrow. You can pick one that you like, or if she said something that you're like, you know what, I can do that with a little spin on it, then let's go for it, because this is definitely one way that you can continue to eat healthy, be intentional about it. You're going to have to be intentional. But it also is going to reduce your stress. And I have to say, too, it sounds like you save a lot of money. Because when you said like Publix and Whole Foods, that fruit, I'm like, you're paying for them cutting it up. Like,
Right.
because like a pineapple is like $2 and they will charge you $7 for a container of pineapple.
That's right.
So we cannot forget that, just a little bit of elbow grease goes a long way, not only for your health, but also for your wallet. So, wow, this has been awesome, awesome, awesome. As always, you are the queen bee on organizing and simplifying. And so give us one last thing that you want to leave with the listeners before we go.
Just start. Start today.
Mm.
Pick one thing that's going to impact your life and start. That's it. Just get started.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
very simple. Just start. Just start. Well, tell us how we can keep up with you. I want to see the fruit cups. I want the pumpkin muffin recipe. Like, how do we get all of this good information that you shared with us?
The best place to go is Instagram. Nanyamka_Joseph is the handle on Instagram. And I post all of my food recipes there on my food plates. So just check me out on Instagram. And if you're missing anything, you can just inbox me through Instagram. Have questions, you can go to my website, which is simplifiedwellness.com, and you can set up a call or a consultation if you have questions as well.
If you have questions. Now, you are a functional nutrition coach, so that means that you coach people.
Yes, I do.
All right. Are you taking new clients?
I am taking maybe 1 or 2 new clients, one-on-one clients, but there is a 30-minute consultation if you just have some general questions that you can tap into. In January or somewhere down the line, I will take another group, but I need time to transition.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Well, we thank you for coming on and sharing all of your ideas. I always have to just give a shout out for purpose and gifts. And this is a perfect application of what God has put in you. I will tell you, my brain is not set up like this. Like, it's just not. And so he puts people in your lives to help you. So I'm just really, I got a lot out of this episode. So I know my listeners did as well. So, functional nutrition coach, educator, mom. Oh, real quick, tell us the age of your kids so everybody can know the age of your children.
Oh, I have an almost 8-year-old. He'll be 8 next month. And then I have a 13-year-old son who I'm working with on his nutrition because he's a baseball player and he's trying to gain weight and all those types of things. So teaching him how to eat the right things so that he can get the results that he's after as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I meant to ask you that earlier because I'm thinking people are like, my kids can't do that, but an 8-year-old does it. And I'm sure a 5-year-old could too. So again, thank you for joining us today. And you guys share this with other folks. Y'all know she said a lot of good stuff. And you know those people that are always running behind in the car line every morning. And if that's you, pick up one of these tips and run with it. Just start. So thank you again for joining us on Office Visits with Dr. V. We'll see you next week with something that will make your life happier and healthier. Till next time.